Your government doesn't care about you. That's why you need a medical emergency kit. It contains life-saving medications like ivermectin, Z-Pak, and antibiotics. Stock them before they block them.
Я вважаю, що кожен повинен зробити, як я, по совісті поступити. Не боятися, що потім буде, не знаю, якісь проблеми з правоохоронцями, або будуть якісь тиски, або хтось не візьме когось кудись отримати звіт ще останеться. Всі повинні просто поступити по совісті. Стирання людського капіталу без аналізу. Насправді ми провели велику роботу, ми побудували вперше таку систему аналізу в режимі реального часу полі бою, втрат, щоденні почали отримати звіти по втратам, але рішення, кого підтримати, а кого не підтримати, кого посилити, кого не посилити, не приймається на основі даних. Вони приймаються на основі лояльності і не можна розвивати систему, виходячи з цього пункту. Блокування ініціатив та бюрократична перестрілка. За 6 місяців Міноборони ми не змогли створити центри компетенції, змінити організаційну структуру, тому що Генеральний штаб не підписує цю структуру. Тому що назва не така, тому щось не таке. Тобто не потрібно залучати нових людей, які здатні генерувати ідеї. Ми завжди це хакали якимось нестандартними рішеннями і продовжуємо хакати, але в цілому це не працює, якщо ми говоримо про серйозну систему. І ми не змогли перевести, ми, не знаю, 3 людини, 5 людей перевели за весь час в Міністерстві оборони. Тобто, уявіть собі, воююча країна, яка генерує рішення, не може перевести людей в Міністерство оборони, тому що є певне блокування. Ну і постійна брехня, це вона стосується мене, що я замовник скель, розслідування, не я створив скелі і, там, або інший будь-який підрозділ і допустив, що там відбувається, а я запустив медійну кампанію, я зробив це, хтось ще щось зробив. Ну, це така культура, яка в цілому створилася, яку потрібно просто викорінити, тому що по-іншому ми не зможемо здолати ворога, в якого теж саме відбувається в системі. Які рішення тоді були запропоновані? Це кардинальні кадрові рішення, це зміна і главкома, і зміна начальника Генерального штабу. Я сьогодні обіцяв, що нам потрібно поговорити як з дорослими людьми. Насправді, у нас немає іншого виходу, якщо ми хочемо перемогти ворога асиметрично, з мінімальними втратами, де сильні лідери-командири будуть розвиватися, їх не будуть придушувати, не будуть списувати, відправляти догани, подавлювати і так далі. Провів Харківську операцію, брав участь в Херсонській, багато різних операцій. Ми не можемо такого командира сказати, що недооцінити його. Але війна змінилася повністю. Дрон змінює свою повністю архітектуру, або з'являються якісь нові фічі в дроні 4 рази мінімум на рік. 20-30 разів змінюються певні речі в технологіях за рік. Система управління змінилася, і ми повинні змінюватися. Ми не можемо їхати на тому, що було тоді.
Welcome back to the SCIF. Thanks for joining us today. We've been on the road, and we're going to be on the road again next week. All next week we'll be in Beirut. Big stories to come out of there as we open our Lebanese media outlet. Or at least plan for it. Not sure the exact launch date, but you will be informed. I want to say hello to the crew in the chat. Thanks for joining us today, and thank you for all the support across all. The comments are just fantastic, and we love it. And it's really great to see, and it really helps us. So please keep it up. Check out whatfinger.com, great aggregator site that posts a lot of our content. Trump's speech tonight on election integrity. We are launching a campaign, which I'll talk about in a bit, for election integrity in the United States. A campaign to push to get rid of the machines across the CDM network and beyond. So you will see that. Join us live tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, actually a little before. Bill Quinn and I will be giving commentary before and after the speech as to what President Trump and I guess other government officials are going to be involved, maybe FBI, DNI, et cetera, HHS, et cetera. We're not really sure. It's kind of a big mystery, but join us tonight, and we will have commentary afterwards. And you saw in Ukraine, Fedorov, the official who was removed from the government by Zelensky because he was pushing for reforms. Zelensky is a dictator. He's been there 7 years. Nothing is going to change. And we've got the guy to talk about this today, Alex from Kyiv. You've seen him before, but he is going to join us. Something may be changing in Ukraine. There is a situation where the missiles defense system are not up to speed. They don't have the Patriots. You know, Trump is making talk about licensing them to produce, but I'm not sure how quickly or if at all that's going to happen. Hopefully Alex can tune us into this. But there's so much going on. You saw the protests against the Ukrainian government. That's a new thing inside Ukraine, and that's over Fedorov being removed from the government. Zelensky offered him a lower position, but he declined. So all of this is of a piece. We're going to talk about this with Alex. I mean, we are, you know, we talk about World War III, but we are in it right now. It's just not who you think is fighting who. You have the U.S. and other sovereign nations essentially fighting the globalist matrix, and we're going to discuss that further. It's the UK, it's others who are the globalist capitals. This, as Susan Kokinda said yesterday, the elite ruling class is who we're fighting, and that is going to become clearer and clearer, and we're going to talk about it more and more and make it quite obvious. So let's go through the mission brief today. Today is July 16th. I'm your host, Todd Wood. Here's your mission brief. The LAPD, the Los Angeles Police Department, removed flock cameras temporarily, or at least the agreement. They didn't remove the cameras, but they removed the agreement over concerns about privacy and citizen complaints. We're not sure if this is just theater to make people happy, but we are all over this surveillance network. Tucker came out last night with a good interview that we're going to post on the flock cameras. And we've been early on this story. As always, guys, we've been, a couple months early on the flock stuff, and it's coming out big now. Everybody else is jumping on the bandwagon. So again, stay with CDM if you want to get the news early. Trump is considering taking Kharg Island in the Persian Gulf. We're concerned about that. We'll discuss it probably more in depth on another show. Today is about Ukraine. Americans overwhelmingly are rejecting communism. That is some new polling against showing not much support for the DSA, Democratic Socialists of America, the communist Marxist revolution that is ongoing. Hegseth doesn't like low T soldiers, and he's forcing testosterone tests to make sure the warfighters are capable. Interesting concept. And Connecticut wants Christianity out of the schools, but Islam, of course, is fine. So all of this is fascinating. A lot to talk about today. We'll be right back. We're going to have Alex, and we're going to go into everything regarding, actually, he's coming on at the bottom of the hour. So here's second segment. We're going to talk about stories, and then we'll have Alex on. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Every day, your data is being tracked, collected, and sold, often without you even realizing it. Big tech companies control your devices, your apps, and the information you share. From your messages to your browsing habits, everything is being monitored and stored. Over time, we've traded privacy for convenience, and most people don't even question it. But what if you could take that control back? That's where Mark 37 comes in. Mark 37 provides privacy-focused phones, laptops, and tablets designed to give you full control over your digital life. With secure systems, expert support, and simple tools, they make it easier to step away from constant tracking and data collection. Because privacy isn't just a feature, it's a fundamental choice. It's about protecting your data, your freedom, and your future. Take back control of your digital life with Mark 37.
And by the way, I wanted to say I'm starting my journey with Sean. I'm going to be getting a Ghost phone and then upgrading to a Ghost computer soon, because I am going to unplug for the Matrix. And you can follow me along on my journey. So mark37.com/CDM is where you want to go to do that. Find the webinar, sign up for the webinar, and learn everything you need to know to get started. And then you can also sign up for a free 30-minute consultation on privacy there at mark37.com/CDM. But I'm looking forward to it, and I have been worried about privacy for some time. So I'm going to be taking the plunge and changing my life and unplugging from the Matrix, and I'm really looking forward to it. So maybe you can join me.
A warm welcome here at the National Press Club. Welcome to the journalists, welcome to the Embraer team, and welcome to the other guests that we have here. Going to announce, and as some of you guessed it right when they came in, the first E2 order by an American operator. And that operator is Avello. We believe this is really a strategic shift to unlock profitability for the customer. I'm very pleased that we have Andrew Levy here as the CEO of Avello, and I'm very pleased to give the stage to share a little bit more about what Avello is going to do with the E2 195. Thank you very much.
Couldn't be more excited to be here as part of this historic announcement. We have such a great cultural fit as companies, so we're very, very excited to be Embraer's newest customer. We launched our airline in April of 21, and our target is focusing on small secondary airports of large metro areas. We've carried over 8 million customers since we started on 63,000 flights. And we've done all these things with 1,200 of the greatest crew members I could ever imagine having, and many of them are here with me today. This is the right airplane for us. It's going to open up opportunities for us that no other aircraft can serve. The best thing about the airplane, of course, is you will not find a middle seat on this airplane. It doesn't exist. We won't have any to offer. It's going to be the best cabin in the United States, and we're so excited about that. This is going to elevate our experience to the highest level, and we think our customers are absolutely going to love the airplane.
That's why you need a medical emergency kit. It contains life-saving medications like ivermectin, Z-Pak, and antibiotics. Stock them before they block them.
You know, it's kind of wild. We were, I guess the filter was lifted on our X transmissions on the SCIF last week, and our audience bumped up hundreds, and now it's gone back down again. So somebody figured out how to stop us again. But please subscribe to us on CDM_press, CDM1 on Rumble. We need to blow through this censorship. YouTube, CDM. We're on all kind of different channels, armedforces.press on X. Please follow us wherever you would like to. We're on Instagram now as well. And tonight we're going to have a great discussion before and after Trump's speech. Myself and Bill Quinn will be giving political commentary. You can find that on georgiarecord.com. You can go there. The link will be live probably around 8:30-ish, maybe a little later, but we will be live on the Georgia Record. It'll also be on CDM. You can find it on cdm.press as well. But please join us there. We're going to be focusing on election integrity, and we are going to be focusing on how we can get rid of the machines and bring back free elections in these United States. You know, maybe they've never been free, but we're going to push for as free as we can for our children's sake. And on that note, I want to run a, let me just make sure the sound's on. Yes, this is a AI video we did on this new effort we're rolling here. And so here you go, just so you know what we're going to be focused on over the next few weeks.
It cannot be saved without free and fair elections. It's that simple. At CDM, we have been on the cutting edge of this fight since the 2020 election, and we have the scars to prove it. We are not stopping. We are now preparing for an even more rigorous push to get rid of the election machines. We don't need any machine having dominion over us. Our public news and information campaign will detail how the fraud happened and what we can do about it. We are kicking the effort off today as we wait eagerly for President Trump's speech to the nation tonight. This is a transformative moment in American politics, and once again, CDM is at the forefront. Join us live tonight on cdm.press for before and after commentary. Let's save the republic cannot be saved without free and fair elections. It's that simple.
All right, so let's talk about some other stories. Hold on a second while I bring up the right one. Trump is going over options to deal with the Iranian situation. It's likely that and this is a good article on cdm.press, and it's talking about how they're shaping the battlefield, as in pushing Iranian strike capability back away from the ability to strike into the Persian Gulf. And that's a comprehensive effort that's going after, obviously, missile launchers, radar systems, anything that can support offensive operations by Iran. In that article, Trump is talking again about taking Kharg Island, which has been something I think he's wanted to do for some time, but obviously the situation on the ground has not allowed that. But that is something that could happen. I want to be blunt. We're not for that. We don't want U.S. military forces on the ground in Iran. You know, we were against this war before it started. Once it started, we said we want to support the troops, support the president, and come out with a good outcome for the United States. But we don't want this to escalate into a ground conflict in the United States or in the Persian Gulf. We know, you know, I'm an Air Force Academy grad. I know the limits of air power, but you can do a lot. And, you know, we've got ourselves into this, but I don't want to see Americans die on the ground in Iran, which will happen. So that's our point, and we're sticking to it. All right, next story. The Democratic Socialists of America are overwhelmingly rejected by the youth in the U.S., and most American voters do not want communism, which is a blow to the DSA. You can find this article on cdm.press. Very insightful as to what is going on politically. We're in the middle of a Marxist revolution. I spotted this 5-6 years ago, actually before that, and I had the Undersecretary of the Air Force, Matthew Lohmeyer, on, and actually I'm the guy that got him fired when he wrote the book, The Irresistible Revolution, about Marxism in the military. And he was fired as commander of the Space Force. Now he's the Undersecretary of the Air Force. Trump put him in that position. But we are in the middle of a Marxist revolution. You need to realize that it's happening in the universities, in our cities, and you need to steel your youth against what they're going to be told and try to be manipulated into. So that's on the parents. You got to get with it. Grandparents as well. Connecticut Democrats don't like Christianity, but Islam is fine. This article on the Connecticut Sentinel, our paper in Connecticut, fantastic, impactful paper. The team there is just off the charts good. And it's one of our best publications. So if you're in that area, or just read it to know what's going on in the Northeast and really in the nation, it's just a fantastic outlet for CDM, and we're really proud of it. But check out that article on Christianity in schools. That ties into our trip to Beirut, where we're really working on uniting Christians. And by the way, there's a big info op against Protestants within certain elements of the Catholic influencer community and also the Orthodox community, which I find distasteful. I'm going to say that right now. I'm happy that there's an Orthodox revival. I'm happy there's a Catholic revival because it's a Christian revival. But we all need to unite as Christians, and I'm not happy with the info op against Protestants. And I almost, this country was founded on Protestantism, and it built the country and provided this republic. So I almost see this narrative as kind of a global info op against the foundations of America. So I'll just say that as well. So I'm not against Catholics or Orthodox. I have family members there, but I don't want this division within the Christian community. And so we're going to Beirut, and we're going to meet with the Maronite Catholics, a lot of the leaders there, and we will forward that message on to you next week. It's going to be an exciting week, so you're going to have to bear with us on production issues, but we will be there on the ground in Beirut. So join us. All right, one more story, actually a couple more. Fort Knox. Secretary of Treasury Bessent says the gold is there. We hope he's right. So we hope this isn't another info op, but he says the gold is there. And we need to be back on the gold standard, which is fascinating. And, we've talked with Tom Teague. We'll have him on again next week and talk about all of this happening in the Federal Reserve and what they're doing, the Trump administration is doing, along with our analysis from Susan Kokinda and Promethean Action, et cetera. And we're trying to shape and figure out what's going on globally with this, fight to restore the United States as the republic it should be. So stay tuned for that. This one on the Georgia Record, our Georgia paper, LAPD stops its contract with Flock Safety, making access to the surveillance cameras, cutting access to the surveillance cameras from their systems. The cameras are still there, but this is interesting. I hope it's not, as I said, just another info op to give a bone to the people, but that they really reduce this exposure. And you got to get active, folks. We're at the time where the surveillance system is locking down. So if you don't get active in your local community, if you don't stop these, if you don't protest, if you don't get loud, the reason this happened in LA is because people got loud about it. So you need to get loud in your local communities against this Flock Safety and other companies' surveillance system. The name itself gives it away. The Flock, like in 1984, the cattle and safety. They want to do this for safety, for your own, safety for the flock is what this is. It's obvious this is 1984 surveillance and Big Brother. So get rid of it and stop it. That's you. If you care about your children and grandchildren, to get rid of it and stop it and get loud in your local communities. Now, if you go to our Armed Forces Press channel, Pete Hegseth wants testosterone tests for the soldiers over 30. Youngers can opt in, but he's going to push for a non-low T military. Interesting concept. We'll continue to report on this. All right, we've got Alex coming in at the bottom of the hour, and we're going to talk Ukraine. You're going to get a lot of information you wouldn't get anywhere else, I guarantee you. So stay with us. We'll be right back on the SCIF. Don't go anywhere.
Every day, your data is being tracked, collected, and sold, often without you even realizing it. Big tech companies control your devices, your apps, and the information you share. From your messages to your browsing habits, everything is being monitored and stored. Over time, we've traded privacy for convenience. and most people don't even question it. But what if you could take that control back? That's where Mark 37 comes in. Mark 37 provides privacy-focused phones, laptops, and tablets designed to give you full control over your digital life. With secure systems, expert support, and simple tools, they make it easier to step away from constant tracking and data collection. Because privacy isn't just a feature, it's a fundamental choice. It's about protecting your data, your freedom, and your future. Take back control of your digital life with Mark 37.
And by the way, I wanted to say I'm starting my journey with Sean. I'm going to be getting a Ghost phone and then upgrading to a Ghost computer soon, because I am going to unplug for the Matrix. And you can follow me along on my journey. So mark37.com/CDM is where you want to go to do that. Find the webinar, sign up for the webinar, and learn everything you need to know to get started. And then you can also sign up for a free 30-minute consultation on privacy there at mark37.com/CDM. But I'm looking forward to it, and I have been worried about privacy for some time. So I'm going to be taking the plunge and changing my life and unplugging from the Matrix, and I'm really looking forward to it. So maybe you can join me.
If you haven't noticed, gold has reached a new high, all-time highs actually, and keeps going up every day. Why is that? It's because precious metals are a long-time historical store of value. And if you own a portfolio and you have assets in the fiat currencies, i.e. stocks, bonds, cash, or whatever, you're vulnerable to hyperinflation, which is coming as our debt explodes another trillion every 90 days. It's really scary. So how do you protect yourself? Go to Advisor Metals. If you look on any of our cdm.press sites, about halfway down, there's an ad for Advisor Metals. Click on it, fill out the form for your contact info, and Ira Bishotsky will contact you and talk to you. It's an easy conversation. There's no sales pitch. He's completely verified by us. He has a regulatory background we've checked into. We've checked with his bankers. We've checked with his IRA custodians for metals, and we can highly recommend Advisor Metals and IRA. So go to Advisor Metals. If you call them directly, tell them we sent you at CDM, and he'll definitely take care of you. But protect your portfolio, because you really need to. It's coming. Thank you.
Your government doesn't care about you. That's why you need a medical emergency kit. It contains life-saving medications like ivermectin, Z-Pak, and antibiotics. Stock them before they block them.
Do you already have your investments with Fidelity? I'm David Cross with U.S. Asset Management. Did you know that you can assign your investment management to my team and put my 35 years of experience to work for you? You simply assign us as your investment manager, and you keep the same username and password. Professional management, and you get to work with someone who shares your values. Call U.S. Asset Management today and put us to work for you.
Welcome back to the SCIF. I got a treat for you. We have prided ourselves on being out front in what's happening in Ukraine for many, many years. And one of our fantastic sources is Alex. He's been on the show many times. And I'm going to bring him in because there's so much to talk about in Ukraine. So he's gracious enough to pull some time out of his busy schedule today. So Alex, thank you for joining.
Hello, Todd.
Hi. I have a video when you're ready, and I have slides when you're ready. So my question to you is, Fedorov was removed as defense minister. What does that mean? What's happening on the front? I'm sure we'll get through all of this, but I'll turn it over to you and let you tell the audience what you want to.
Well, I have some pictures about Fedorov and the video of Fedorov as an answer for your questions.
Okay.
I think after looking at this situation during the week, I think that Fedorov and Zelensky parted the ways and had a conflict because of the money. So let's take a look at this hypothesis on the slides.
Okay, I'm bringing that up. There you go.
All right. So the new budget has been approved, and the news are that Ukraine received additional $72 billion as a guarantee of financing for next year. Let's go to the next slide.
Mm-hmm.
The text is small, but let me comment, and I think you can post this PDF on your website after, so people can read it. Well, the economy is in a collapsed form. 45% of deficit in liquidity. As a proportion or as a ratio to estimated GDP of approximately 200 billion. I personally do not believe in GDP of 200 billion. Why? Because the government of Ukraine falsified statistics before the war, and the statistics were falsified approximately 20-25% on the GDP level, but they could not falsify incoming statistics. And I have a personal ratio that is very simple for Ukrainian economy. Anytime metallurgical and coal production drops 2%, the GDP drops 1%. So this is approximate ratio. So that means that the metallurgical and coal production in Ukraine dropped 90%. Thus, the GDP dropped 45-50% in comparison to what GDP was before the war. And before the war, the GDP was around 180. So you just simply divide by 2 to get the rough idea that the GDP right now is approximately around $110 billion, and not 200 as what they report. So they calculate that the budget deficit, when they say budget deficit, it means that the money which the Minister of Finance has at the end of the month. And I had a meeting with the Minister of Finance before the war, and before the war, he told me that every day he had a liquidity deficit of $5 to $10 million every day. And in the first year of war, Minister of Finance reported that he had a budget deficit of $2 billion at the end of the year. So that comes up to $24 billion per year. Right now, they report that the budget deficit is 45% of inflated statistical GDP, and that means that they have a budget deficit of $75 billion. So the budget deficit increased 3 times in comparison to what it was 3 years ago. And this tells me a very simple math. 3 consecutive years, the Minister of Finance reports 24, 25, and $26 billion for the war. So if they have a budget deficit of $75 billion, that means that they still report 20-something billion dollars as expenses for the war. And the rest budget deficit, around $50 billion, is what they steal per year. Otherwise, they would not have this liquidity gap. This is the simple math. I'm concluding right now for your listeners as simple as possible based on 3 numbers. And if you want to get more in depth, just read this little resume on this slide. Those numbers are not mine. I took it from the economical analyst, but you will get the idea. So some things from this slide. They report statistical inflation of 9.6%. This is bullshit. I compared. I have my friends in Kyiv and in some other cities in Ukraine. We compared the price of oil, butter, eggs, milk, flour, sugar, meat. The meat in Ukraine right now is more expensive than in Washington, in New York, and Miami. Butter is more expensive. Milk is more expensive than in Target. The milk in Target is what? $2.5 per gallon. The milk is 2 times more expensive in Ukraine, which used to be an agrarian country. So what kind of inflation of 10% are you talking about? The NBU and Minister of Finance, they falsified the numbers to cover $50 billion of money laundering per year. And this money laundering per year of $50 billion, what they report as the liquidity gap, is being formed through the money which is being financed from the European Union funds and grants, kicked back to the sources of financing in European Union. Otherwise, there is no rational explanation why would any politician in European Union would simply gift $72 billion per year. There is no rational explanation. Irrational explanation, they get a kickback. And they allow Zelensky and Fedorov and Marchenko and the Minister of Finance and NBO of Ukraine launder the money for them, citing and justifying that the war is going on. But the Minister of Finance, I'm telling you one more time, Minister of Finance reported $24 billion for the war expenses in 2024, $25 billion for war-related expenses in 2025. And I guess in 2026, they have $26 billion to report. So it's $2 billion per month for war expenses. The rest is laundered. Okay, let's go to the
point. So you're saying that Fedorov, the defense minister, was kicked out over squabbles over the money. It's like two mafiosos, working the turf. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it is. Let's take a look at some other pictures for this. Okay, next slide. Fedorov and Zayn conflict. So there's just yesterday, the former deputy of the parliament of Ukraine, Massychuk, he is a kind of useful idiot and a grifter, but he has his contacts in SBU. So only few people in Ukraine can be clean or assess it as clean. Todd, we had a conversation with you on that. So the guy who reports right now on the slide, he's a psycho, and he's a Nazi, and he's a grifter, and he grifts with Security Service of Ukraine, SBU. So, but his reporting is usually on point because he has his contacts in SBU of Ukraine. So he reported, take a look on the screen, that Fedorov has been caught by some people in the Security Service of Ukraine for lobbying for Russian online casino. Well, let me tell you the back of the story, what's behind the story. It's not only Russian online casino. Ukraine right now is estimated as the largest provider of online casino fraud in the world and call center fraud. Fedorov and SBU provided a roof for online casinos from various countries outside of Ukraine. And they also frauded estimated $500 million from citizens of Europe and the United States. So $500 million were divided among people in the government. Zelensky is a close friend of Fedorov, and Zelensky, Mrs. Zelensky, they are family members. And some people in SBU for protection and roof.
Yeah.
Take a look. And
it's a mafia state using the war to build wealth.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Call centers, online casinos, and they laundered $70 million just recently. Take a look.
Next slide.
70 million is recently. So 500 million estimated money laundering on call centers and casinos per year. Let's go to the next slide. Today, there was a celebration in Kyiv. Ursula came, some presidents of Eastern European countries came, and Zelensky had a speech, and he said, Fedorov will remain in my team, he's my friend. And we fight for freedom and democracy. Well, anything Zelensky says on those speeches has been written by shysters.
Yeah.
And look at what they're doing, not at what they're saying. So he's covering everything in smoke. Let's take a look at the next slide. They and Fedorov in conflict over politics and money in the fund. Zelensky and Zelenska, Olena Zelenska, promised wife of Fedorov and Fedorov himself, because they are family members, kind of, that Fedorov would become a prime minister. And Zelensky decided to have a puppet prime minister, Koretsky, who was a money launderer, head of Naftogaz in Ukraine. So let's take a look at the next slide. And all this change also involves the change of some other ministers. So, for example, this person on the screen is Klimenko. He's a criminal policeman, a money launderer in the police, and he's in contact with criminal Hasid organizations in Ukraine also. And they tried to implement like exchange of ministers, move some minister from one position to another position, but keeping them as ministers. So let's take a look at the next slide. And so further, it was a plan of Zelensky and Zelenska to appoint Fedorov as a prime minister. And they tried to justify Fedorov with Trump administration, Vance and Rubio. Vance, Trump, and Rubio did not approve Fedorov because apparently they had some dossier on Fedorov. And that's why it dragged for several months. And apparently it reached some point of conflict when Fedorov demanded the voting for the new cabinet of minister. And Zelensky decided to drop him. And on the picture here, you see that Fedorov is not in the roster of new ministers. So it was like a lie from Zelensky onto his ally Fedorov, because Zelensky, they are friends like a family.
But what about all these protests in Kiev? Is this just a theater, or are people misled, or what?
I think people are misled, and I would like to take a look at some of these people in this roster. Let's take a look at the next slide. This roster of people, I know some of those people, because I observed them in business and in their political agenda and decisions. And some of those people are not well known to the public in Ukraine, but majority of the people you see on the screen are basically corruptioners. Like Shmigal is a corruptioner, Klimenko corruptioner, Marchenko is a corruptioner, Lyashko is a corruptioner. Grifter, for example, Kravchenko from McKinsey is a grifter because he sells his services to state-owned companies. For example, Sibiga, the Minister of Justice, he's a contrabandist and a corruptioner. And some other people are just simply useful idiots. You can call them like this. Next slide. And Sergei Koretsky, or the man on the right in the middle, this guy in glasses in the middle and the right, will be is appointed a prime minister instead of Fedorov. So there's a conflict of Zelensky and Fedorov apparently, because Zelensky decided to appoint Koretsky. Koretsky is a grifter, corruptioner from the benzene and oil trading company called Continuum, which was a contraband-based company roofed by the SBU of Ukraine. Koretsky was appointed to launder the money instead of Kolomoisky in Ukernafta. and based on the paper, they made Ukernafta profitable, but those are inflated numbers, and they basically laundered the money through Ukernafta. And Ukernafta was a state-owned company. And then, based on his money laundering in Ukernafta, he was moved into Naftagaz. And he apparently laundered some good amount of money in Naftagaz. And because Kolomoisky were removed from Ukernafta and Vitrenko were removed from Naftagaz, that allowed to transfer the money laundering channels from Kolomoisky, Vitrenko mafia, and some American observing mafia in Naftagaz to Zelensky. So Zelensky controls Naftagaz corporation like ultimate beneficiary owner. And that's why apparently Sergei Koretsky provided really good amount of money for Zelensky. And my guess, I cannot prove it right now, so this is my hypothesis, looking at all this movement of political figures. My understanding is that Fedorov, please move to the next slide. My understanding is that, where's another slide?
Go to the next one.
Click one more.
Actually, that's it. That's the last one.
Where's the slides about?
I don't know.
Could you please move to slide number 5?
Yes.
Slide number 5. This one. So my hypothesis is that Fedorov and Zelensky oversaw United 24 fund, and I had some reports 2 years ago that Fedorov and Zelensky himself classified any money cash flow coming through the United 24 fund. And you can see on the picture right there in the middle that this fund collected $3 billion something, 3.6. Can you see it in the middle, on the black area? So my guess is that there was a conflict over the money in this particular fund. Then there was a conflict on the money channeling from the Minister of Defense, because Fedorov was a Minister of Defense, and he controlled call centers, casinos, and he controlled the drones, money laundering via the drone purchases to Ukraine. And Fedorov also controlled the money coming laundered from United 24 with Zelensky. So the money which came to United 24 were sent by all embassies of Ukraine in the world to classified account in the National Bank of Ukraine. And the disbursements and the spending out of this account are classified, and nobody can look at those. So they report $3 billion collected, but they do not report the spending. So my hypothesis is that Fedorov and Zelensky parted ways because they could not agree on division of money channels in those 5 areas of money laundering. And Fedorov had his ambition to become a prime minister. And there were some other conflicts with some other ministers, but at the last week, Zelensky made a decision to get rid of Fedorov, stop his involvement in the money laundering in the Ministry of Defense, and that's why there's this movement with the SBU issuing suspicions and probably preparing to arrest Fedorov. We may see this week. And Zelensky probably decided to cut his family friendship with Fedorov. This is the movement I see, and this is what I observe. Of course, I cannot prove the numbers on the money laundering because right now I don't have access to the classified information. If I would have, most probably this overview would be backed by some hard numbers and by money laundering schematics. I'm like 99% sure I can prove it.
Amazing analysis. You're not going to get that anywhere else. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
What about the video? Do you want to show that?
Yeah, let's take a look at the video. So on this video, let me let's take a look at this video, and then I will translate what he's talking about. This is a recent video from today. Fedorov started his presidential campaign against Zelensky.
So that is what is happening. Is there going to be a power change? Zelensky's pretty, he's a dictator, right? So how he wouldn't allow
he's a dictator. Yeah, he appointed puppet ministers, grifters who will share the proceeds from money laundering on the liquidity gaps created by the government. So all those ministers I showed you in the picture, they're appointed because they have agreed to cut the share of money laundered for Zelensky himself. There is no other way. And yesterday I also saw the article that Koretsky paid a lot of money to become a prime minister, and he promised Zelensky to launder the money. Let's take a look at the video from Fedorov.
I will, but it will be very interesting to see who in the U.S. is involved, because we have the same system where money goes missing. They can't, match up the budgets in the Pentagon, et cetera. Trillions missing, and yet Congress gets richer and richer. So I think the same thing is going on in the U.S., and it's probably tied to this. But here's the video.
Це ізоляція та токсикація тих, хто розвивається. В тебе виходить красава, відстійник. Драпатий, третя догана, до побачення. Вибачте, драпатий, думаю, вам після цього виступу буде четверта догана. Не хотілося б цього зробити, але в нас вже немає виходу про це не говорити. Тобто, якщо людина в щось дається, лазер в повітряних силах, окей, не будемо 2 місяці давати тобі підписувати якогось командувача. Не будемо давати розподіл. Давайте проведемо навчання.
Okay, we don't speak Ukrainian, so tell us what you said.
Could you please open the video and just pause on second?
Для того, щоб ти займався бюрократією цього
виступу. Just pause here. Yeah, just pause here. So what he's talking about? He's talking about he decided to go how do you call it? He decided to come out like he's an insider of the government and tell the truth, what's going on in the government. And he's talking about he prepared some slides, and you can see that the bullet points to talk about that the army fights on tactical level, but not on the strategic level. They broke the brigades and corps. They supplied the army not through the corps or proper logistical channels, but by private contracts. Then they isolate and toxify those commanders who try to develop as military commanders. Nobody responds on anything. The bullet point just across his head on the right. Nobody is responsible for anything, and everybody tries to cover their asses and citing people above their heads. There's always a project of disposable heroes. If anybody opens a mouth, next day he's arrested, thrown into detention, or fired from the military or from the government. He's talking about the Vietnamization. So it's like taking wars from North Korea and Vietnam practices and implementing those approaches in Ukrainian government. He also decided to speak about blocking on the bottom. There's a bullet point that he's talking about blocking initiatives for development and cleaning the government. And I cannot see really clearly, but I think his T-shirt is a United 24 T-shirt, because this is his kind of baby project. I think it's United 24. I cannot see. It resembles me that. Also, Fedorov, there was a meeting pro Fedorov in the morning yesterday and today. And people shouted that, let's change Syrskyi, not Fedorov. Fedorov is good. Fedorov is good. So I think that meeting was paid.
Yeah.
And
I saw that everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. With this particular public speech of Fedorov, where he accuses the government and ministers and Syrskyi, he accuses Syrskyi, Commander Syrskyi, that the army is not being managed in a proper way. I think Fedorov decided to go against Zelensky and Syrskyi. So there's a personal conflict, money conflict, and Fedorov has started his presidential campaign against Zelensky.
So Zelensky's going to have to arrest him, right?
Yes, I think in today, tomorrow, I mean this week, we will see some movement from the SBU, Secret Service of Ukraine, to arrest Fedorov, or even they might kill him. I mean, his words, what he's speaking about right here on the screen, people in Ukraine get killed for saying less.
Yeah.
But Fedorov went open, like he went berserk on Zelensky and Syrskyi in his speech.
So he's counting on maybe the public uprising or something, which we'll see.
Yes, or he has some backup from Secret Service from some other country outside of Ukraine, or he has been promised that if he opens his mouth, he will be covered by some, I don't know, Secret Service or security service.
Maybe the Matrix wants, somebody else besides Zelensky, who will try to make peace. Maybe, I don't know. But it's fascinating to watch, my friend. Anything else?
This is it. I have one slide about the situation on the battlefield, so you can open that.
Was that in the same deck?
Yeah, in the PDF.
There was no more.
Yeah, the last slide with the PDF. Yeah.
This one? Okay.
Yeah, this one. Yeah. So the Russian army is advancing. So Konstantinovka, just on the bottom of the circle, Konstantinovka has been lost. I found some estimation that 40,000 Ukrainians were lost in the Battle of Konstantinovka. And I found that the information that Russian troops entered Konstantinovka in February, and they controlled half of Konstantinovka for several months, and just 1 month ago they took over Konstantinovka. And Syrskyi and Zelensky do not accept that Konstantinovka was lost, and they do not report that 40,000 people were dead. And I also found the news and that Putin suggested to stop fighting in Konstantinovka for 1 day. So Ukrainian medical brigades would go onto the battlefield and simply gather the dead bodies. And the Ukrainian government answered Putin. Putin suggested this. I mean, this was not a suggestion from a tactical general or brigade general. It was like, I mean, probably the quantity of bodies in Konstantinovka fields were so large that the generals of Russia reported up to Putin. Traditionally, Putin do not involve in any of those tactical conversations. And Putin said that stop the fighting for 1 day and to gather the bodies. And Ukrainian government decided not to stop the fighting and said, we don't need those bodies.
Because they don't want to pay the money, and they don't want people to know. Correct?
Yes, exactly. They will classify all those 40,000 people dead as missing in action. And if a body is missing in action and not returned to the family is not entitled to 15 million hryvnia of payment from the government. So that's why Zelensky and some generals in Zelensky clique will pocket millions of dollars because they will create fake dead bodies roster. They will provide financing for this, and they will hide this financing because there will be no families to pay because they classify all those dead bodies as missing in action. They're simply like dead bodies. Imagine this happening in the United States, when the United States would say, we don't need dead bodies.
Yeah. No, it's amazing.
So
amazing.
I do not understand the motivation of Ukrainian soldiers to fight for those cities in Drushkovka, Kramatorsk, Slavyansk, because even before the war, the citizens of those cities were taken as hostages by the oligarch bandits in those cities. For example, Akhmetov controlled all factories in Kramatorsk, and he paid $400, $500 as a salary to people to work in Kramatorsk. So people who lived in Kramatorsk, they could not leave Kramatorsk because they could not afford to buy tickets to get out of Kramatorsk. Yeah. So in my understanding of expenses, they could not save enough to make a deposit to afford relocating their families out of Kramatorsk. So they have been taken as hostages with their families tied to those factories. And same in Slavyansk, same in Drushkovka, same in Konstantinovka. Akhmetov simply was a modern slave owner. And based on this picture, this is today's picture of this military map. And you can see that there's a cauldron forming, which means that Russian forces utilize the same old Soviet Union technique to form scissors and then click on those scissors in 2-3 ways, form smaller cauldrons and close the territory. Yeah. So the Kramatorsk is under attack already with CAB and FAB bombs. Those are like self-guided bombs. And today in the morning, the largest warehouse and hub of Nova Poshta, the post office, was attacked by CAB, and that means that the logistics will be stopped to Kramatorsk in several days. When the logistics stop, and when the food stops and the warehousing stops, that means this is the beginning when citizens will leave the city. Some people, of course, will stay in the city, but that means the more people will leave the city, the more buildings will be vacated. Some of those buildings vacated will be occupied by Ukrainian artillery and snipers. And that's why when the artillery comes into civil districts, Russian forces will get attacked from civil buildings because the artillery will be located in civil buildings districts, and they will barrage the civil buildings. So that's why next week, in 2 weeks, we will see that Russian forces will attack, barrage with CAB, FAB bombs, self-guided munitions, and artillery munitions. They will level Drushkovka, Kramatorsk, and Slavyansk. If Syrsky doesn't order to surrender or to withdraw, they will bury 40,000 more people for each of those cities. So right now, there are estimated 120,000, 140,000 people defending Slavyansk, Kramatorsk, and Drushkovka. So guess what? The math is very simple. They lost 40,000 people in Konstantinovka. So calculate Drushkovka, 20 to 30,000 people defending Drushkovka, 40,000 for Kramatorsk, 40,000 for Slavyansk. 40, 40, 30, 120. So my estimation is that 100, 120, I don't have the exact numbers, but this is my understanding. If they do not offer to withdraw 100,000 people, they will get bombed.
So it makes perfect sense, though, if your goal is to depopulate the Christian population of Ukraine.
Yes,
it makes perfect sense. I mean, it's mass murder, it's ethnocide, it's human sacrifice. It's massaging the human population for your own evil ends. I mean, that's the only thing that can be pulled from this. And this just reinforces me. The U.S. has to get out of this. We cannot be funding or even supplying weapons to this at all, because the crime, the evil that's happening. And you know what? On Konstantinovka, we were early on this because of you, and we were saying it's been lost, and we got a lot of pushback on emails and comments. You're lying. You're working for Putin. All of that crap. So it's fascinating that now people are admitting that's what happened.
Yes, and I agree with your conclusions.
Thank you very much, Alex.
Thank you, Todd.
See you again soon. Really insightful analysis. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
First time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
I'm watching my friends gain more and more weight, and then eventually I got to tell you, this is a little dark, but bad diet literally killed my whole crew.
Wow.
Diabetes, a stroke. I mean, all kinds of stuff. It's like, you had a stroke? You're not even 50 years old. You guys got to quit eating this stuff. Your body knows what's what. You're not conscious of this. But that's why people will go to the refrigerator and they'll grab this and that and the other and put together this outrageously elaborate combination of foods. Your body's trying to reach balance. Unbeknownst to us, our bodies are always trying to reach homeostasis. You can't eat all of this stuff and expect to live a long time. And one thing led to another, and I went, forget this. We're going to make our own product. So we partnered with one of the world's top 3 biochemists where nutrition-specific study is concerned. I said, all I want is the best nutritional and immune support product in the world. So we mixed it in yogurt. It's a powder. I got a bag of it here. I keep one on the console all the time, just so I can show people.
Yeah.
And it's a powder. Now, this is not candy. This is hardcore nutrition. And sugar is an enemy. And most people do not know that the reason these bellies are showing up on people all over the place, your body makes fat to store the toxins it can't get rid of. So it just puts them over here. But I can tell you this, you take this for 30 days and then lay off of it for 2 or 3 days, and you'll go, good grief, give me some more. Skin, nails, hair growing back, cut yourself and it heals in half the time.
Put silver wings on my son's chest. Make him one of America's best. He'll be a man. He'll test one day. Have him win the Green Beret.
Welcome back to the SCIF. I hope you enjoyed that analysis from Ukraine. You're not going to get that anywhere else, my friends. That is straight from the horse's mouth, if you will. And that's the hallmark of CDM is direct reporting, reporters all over the world. And that's what we've built. And that's what you get. You don't get it anywhere else. So put cdm.press in your scan. Sign up for our no ad subscriptions, my.cdm.press. My.cdm.press. You get access to all of our content with no ads. That's my.cdm.press. You can go into any of our sites. Once you log in, you can go to each one of them and get access to the latest in that sector, and with no advertisements, no pop-ups on your phone, no video ads, etc. I just want to give a shout out to the wellness company, twc.health/CDM. That's twc.health/CDM. If you haven't got your emergency medical kit for your family, you're behind the game. So make sure with whatever pandemic they're going to throw our way. I mean, we got the election coverage tonight, meaning the president is going to start going after and trying to fix our elections, we hope, and that's going to cause a response. It could be another pandemic. I'm sure they're ready to go. So make sure you have either your contagion kit or your emergency medical kit or your travel emergency kit. Just go on the wellness company, twc.health/CDM, and play around with what they have on the site. And you won't be wasting your time. Also, if you go to the Manhattan.press top menu, this is our business channel and our answer to the New York Times, which we're growing. Go to the Manhattan bestsellers. This is the best up-to-date, most accurate bestsellers list out there. We have adult nonfiction, adult fiction, politics, history, young adult fiction and nonfiction, children's fiction and nonfiction. And if you want to get, the places we'll go for your son or daughter, just click on it and you go to the CDM bookstore and you can buy it. And you can also buy any book you need for the beach, for your business, for school from the CDM bookstore in the top search place there. And, if you're looking for that best book for the beach, check out my novel Currency. You will learn something and you'll enjoy this very much because it is a page turner, but it's also a financial education book and a historical fiction tied to today. Really great reviews, over 500 on Amazon, maybe over 600 now. I haven't checked recently. And it's the first in the series for Connor Murray. The Sugar and Motherland are next. And then Delta's the standalone novel. And then we're writing the novel Deep as we speak, which will be the fifth in that of my novels. And I've got 2 nonfiction books also, including the MEK book, which we've talked about. All right, my friends, that's it for today. Not sure what's going to happen tomorrow, but we'll have a great show, I guarantee you. So stay with us. Tell people about the show. Appreciate you coming by today. And again, we're not an activist political show. We're an intel show. We want you to be the smartest out there. So we'll see you tomorrow, 10 to noon, Monday through Friday on the SCIF. Thank you.